Microbiology of Bacillus cereus. Bacillus cereus is a gram-positive broad bacillus. It's the most commonly isolated bacillus at all. It's more common to be isolated than any other bacilli. It's a gram-positive, motile because it's flagellated. It's aerobic and it can be facultative anaerobe. It's spore forming, so it lives ubiquitous in bad environmental conditions. It lives freely in the soil, and that's why it can contaminate food and contaminate wounds and cause devastating inflammation after penetrating trauma to the eye. So it's gram-positive, and the picture here shows red color. So in fact it's like a gram-negative. And in this other one, in this other picture, there are few areas red, gram-negative, and other areas purple, gram-positive. So Bacillus cereus is gram-positive, but it shows what's called gram variability. So in old smears, old cultures, older than 18 to 24 hours, it transforms from gram-positive to gram-negative. So it's not uncommon to find mixed gram-positive and gram-negative staining in an aging specimen. Bacillus cereus shows palisade formation, so it's grouped in groups like palisades. And this is different from Bacillus anthracis, which is found in long chains. This is important because few atypical Bacillus cereus might cause anthracoid-like disease. The colonies of Bacillus cereus are large, usually 7 millimeters, and they show hemolysis around it, which is different from the Bacillus anthracis, and it has grayish green appearance with ground glass texture. Bacillus anthracis shows smaller colonies and doesn't show any hemolysis around it. Bacillus cereus is one of the important food intoxication bacilli. So food intoxication can be caused by botulinum toxin or Bacillus cereus. Bacillus cereus is a toxin producing organism. It produces heat labile toxin, and within few hours from ingesting a contaminated food, the patient suffers from emesis syndrome, so he vomits. This is mainly from the toxin. But after 6 to 8 hours, if the organism itself was in the food product inoculated with Bacillus cereus, the patient will acquire a diarrheal illness from the organism itself adhering to the intestinal mucosa and causing destruction. Usually this is a self-limiting disease, so it's usually managed by good fluid intake and limiting food. Rarely antibiotics are needed, but it's susceptible to the same antibiotics like Bacillus anthracis, penicillin, ciprofloxacin, macrolides, and few strains of Bacillus cereus are resistant to penicillin and penicillin G. If we read this question, a patient presented 24 hours after eye trauma by a blunt object, with the picture shown. He reports severe ecchymosis, eyelids are swollen, conjunctival ecchymosis, injection, significant pain, and loss of vision. This is very important. So this is endophthalmitis case. You can see hypopyon, you can see keratitis here, you can see hypopyon, and the injection and the swelling of the eyelid. Vitreous tap was performed. So the question is taking you to the diagnosis of endophthalmitis, because someone might say, okay, this is keratitis, and this is very common after trauma with blunt objects. The patient might acquire keratitis. So the most likely organism to be isolated. The question is asking about the most common organism to cause endophthalmitis in cases of trauma. This is a simple question. Is it Candida albicans, Acanthamoeba, Bacillus cereus, Staph aureus, or coagulase negative staph? Coagulase negative staph is Staph epidermidis, and from your studies you know that Staph epidermidis is the commonest cause of post-operative endophthalmitis because it inoculates the lashes and the eyelids. The answer here to this question is Bacillus cereus. So Bacillus cereus is the commonest organism causing traumatic endophthalmitis, and in fact it causes devastating endophthalmitis. In contrast to the diarrheal illness or the emesis syndrome, which are self-limiting, Bacillus cereus endophthalmitis is never self-limiting. It's a toxin-producing organism found in a confined chamber, in a confined space inside the eye, causing damage. There is very narrow window for intervention. This patient needs timely intervention with intravitreal injections. Empirically, we inject vancomycin, ceftazidime, and aminoglycosides are very effective as well in these cases, but it's toxic to the ocular tissues, hence avoided. So this is a very common question. The most common cause of post-traumatic endophthalmitis is Bacillus cereus.